engine fuel control switches of Boeing 787 Dreamliner, that is something which at the moment is being very closely looked at. Now, this is the Dreamliner, and these are the control switches that have now become the focal point of the investigation. This is used on ground for engine start and shutdown. So this is the point where the investigation at the moment is focusing on. These are the switches that are used in flight for manual shutdown or if they want to restart. So this is something which those switches do. When an engine failure takes place, one needs to move from in-flight. It stops the engine's fuel supply. This would result in immediate shutdown and the loss of thrust. So this is something which the experts at the moment are pointing towards. The metal stop lock mechanism requires the crew to lift the switch before changing any kind of position. Was this being done? That's something which at the moment is being looked at. Guarded brackets prevent accidental movement. So that is also something which at the moment is being looked at, whether this was something which was being done manually or whether this was a technical glitch. That has become the focal point of the investigation. This is an investigation which not just India but globally is being looked at very closely. My colleague Sandeep Unnithan still with me on the story. Sandeep, one of the things, and that this has become the focal point of the investigation, was this the mistake of the pilots? Was this something which was technical?
Absolutely, Aishwarya. And, I really want Boeing to explain that advisory. What action did they take on that advisory? What does this really mean? That part in the report, does that mean, for instance, that with a single flip, the switch can just shut off the engine and cut off the fuel supply? When that locking feature is disengaged, you mean? What exactly happens when this locking feature is disengaged? Can the switch just, flip itself off and shut down the engine? If that is the case, then that you're talking of a very, very serious issue, and all of this needs to be explained by the Boeing company. What are the actions that they took when this advisory came out in December 2018? Were the appropriate alerts flagged to all the users of the Boeing 737, the Boeing Dreamliners, all of these things? So I think the report over here is very clear in highlighting this fact and, pulling out this thing, because now, as we were just talking about, this is what the fuel cutoff to the engines is what literally caused this emergency. Now, we have to know how this happened. Was it a software glitch? Was it a hardware glitch? Was it a technical glitch? Have there been similar such incidents with Dreamliners, with other Boeing aircraft? All of this is now actually the ball is in the Boeing company's court, and they have to come out with a very clear statement outlining what they did after this alert was flashed in December 2018. Because very clearly this report, our report, the crash report, mentions the fact that it was these fuel switches which literally killed the aircraft, and the crew had very little time to react to that. This emergency, which basically unfolded in a matter of seconds, is what caused this big technical, malfunction of the engines and, led to this death of 260 passengers, Aishwarya.
Sandeep, scary to say the least. Dangerous is something that the world is now saying, because we have seen how lakhs of passengers globally have been traveling in Boeing aircrafts. And as you also rightly pointed out, there have been some glitches which have been pointed out. Is Boeing doing enough? That's also something that the world is now asking questions of.
Yeah, absolutely, Aishwarya. In fact, in the last couple of years, we have seen very serious questions being asked of Boeing, especially after those very, very, serious crashes that have taken place, technical defects that have taken place. And now, Air India Flight 171's crash report only throws more questions than it answers, and it is actually for Boeing to come out with a very detailed report on what they've done in the last 5 years and how these kind of technical, mechanical issues have come up. How did these, we need a clear explanation of how this mechanical issue could have caused both switches to flip nearly simultaneously. I mean, this thing is something, it's almost unheard of. Two switches flipping simultaneously, both engines shutting down as a result. It's very clear in this that there was some kind of a serious mechanical issue that unfolded, and it is actually for, it calls for a bigger inquiry, and especially every other airliner that uses the 787 would want to know answers to this. So actually this opens up a, very, very big a Pandora's box, if you can call it that, for the aviation industry. It's highlighted this very, very serious issue, starting from that one advisory that came out in 2018, Aishwarya.
Sandeep, in your opinion, do you think that answers should be asked of Air India as well as Boeing, and there has to be an overhaul of sorts when we speak about the SOPs that are followed not just in India but globally, the aviation sector, the kind of checking that takes place? Do you believe it is high time that we see an overhaul?
Absolutely, absolutely. Sorry, I mean these are this is the once in one in a million kind of event of two engines flaming out and basically shutting down, and the aircraft crashing as a result. It's one of the rarest of rare incidents, and the fact that it happened at a crucial time when the aircraft was just taking off, fully laden with fuel. It had passengers. This points to very serious, consequences of what could actually happen with other such aircraft. And I think everybody, given the number of Boeing aircraft that are in the skies today, this 15-page report, shines. It actually throws up more questions than it answers them. What it clearly narrows it down to is it is, a technical issue that's taken place, and that is what has led to this catastrophe of Flight 171. And it is for Boeing, the Boeing company, to come out with this, and of course Air India to talk about what they have responded to with that 2018 report. What is the kind of protocol that was followed? I think a whole lot of technical issues will come to light based on that, and what followed from this 2018 red flag that was put out. What are the other such technical issues that have been issued? What are the other such alerts that have been brought out highlighting problems with the Boeing aircraft? So this is actually one in a series of many other such problems that Boeing has been facing in in the recent past. The technical issues that have led to so many unfortunate crashes. So literally this report is going to actually be looked at very, very seriously across the world. And of course, as one of our panelists was mentioning, the easiest thing to do is to blame it on pilot errors. But very clearly the report highlights the fact that the pilots actually struggled. They knew there was something catastrophic in that had unfolded, a technical defect of some sort that we just highlighted, this both engine fuel cutoffs, which is moving from run to cutoff within seconds, just literally cutting the plane's thrust at 180 knots. That points to a very serious defect, and I think the world, literally anyone who operates a Boeing aircraft of the kind that this report has highlighted, will look at this with great concern, Aishwarya.